Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week we are back at Groove Garden Studios. So in this video we've got a lot of more like general maintenance stuff to get through, but we actually also look at like repairing a broken cymbal. So we've had this cracked cymbal in the hallway and one of my students said they wanted to take it and I didn't want to give it to them cracked, so I'm gonna repair that in this video as well. So it's something to look forward to seeing. First things first though, we're just gonna make up a little spray bottle of cleaning solution and get to work through the rooms downstairs. So we've got 3 rooms, live room and then 2 drum pods to look at. Just make sure they're looking good and sounding good before the day starts and all the people come in who have bookings. We're going to start in pod 1 down the corridor here. So this is our first little drum pod, the smallest room with the pearl export, the gold badge pearl export in there. I actually bought another pearl export this week for a student. And yeah, they're wicked kits. I've got a video coming out next week because I've got to basically clean it up. It's a second hand. It's like a green pearl export with the black badge. So maybe not as desirable as the older gold badge ones, but I think it's going to sound wicked when I clean it up and yeah, freshen the thing up. At the minute it's great how it is. Like, we've got such a good deal on the kit, but there's a reason these are like the most bought drum kits in the world, right? Because they're just indestructible. Again, this one was found on the street outside my old flat. My neighbor saw it and came and told me and knew that I played drums or had a studio. And yeah, it's ended up here and it sounds great. Obviously, we're looking to upgrade slowly as the studio becomes a bit more established and we actually start paying back some of our loans and stuff. But at the minute, the thing is great for people to just come in and play. Gonna grab a stick from the hallway now just to start tuning it. So we'd sort of done the cleaning, like try to get the stick marks off the head and take all the dust and wood chippings off the drums. And now we're just gonna have a look at how this thing sounds. This stool, like a couple of our pod stools, are a little bit annoying. They loosen up over time and then you come in and it's wobbly, and there's nothing worse than a wobbly stool, but again, it's another one of those things. These do actually work and they go tight, but only you have to keep tightening them. They won't just stay tight, which is a little bit annoying, but again, we're going to upgrade to Gibraltar drum stools slowly. That's what we've got in the live room. That's what I personally use upstairs as well. But yeah, just see how this sounds and see if we can get it sounding just a little bit better. So the reason I play all the cymbals as well as just the drum kit is because you can get these like really small hairline cracks in cymbals that you can barely even see, right? But they're pretty obvious when you hear it or you hit a cymbal. It is just a really obvious, like they just sound bad instantly, sort of dead bad. You might get a sizzle as well, but they can be like in the middle of the cymbal and they're really hard to spot, but you will definitely hear them, and yeah, I can pick up on that stuff quite quickly now. I think I've hit enough drums and cymbals. So we're just heading into the live room now, which is the band room, where bands can come and rehearse. We only have one of these open for like hourly hire, so it doesn't take a lot to keep it looking nice. Just going to clean down all of the instruments and the amps. If the PA doesn't get turned off overnight, I usually turn it off in the morning just to give it a little bit of a break. Most of the time it's turned off overnight, but sometimes it doesn't. If there's a rehearsal really, really late and we're not in at that time because we're self-service, but then I'm always in quite early, sort of 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning, so I'll come in and give it a little break in the first half of the day. We don't usually get rehearsals till sort of mid-afternoon, late evening. These pinstripes still haven't been changed. They will get changed eventually. I just think they sound good at the minute, and this one you can see has got a dent in it, and it probably does need to be changed. Again, we're still going off of all the sort of free gifted drum heads that everyone's been so kind to give to us. So yeah, all a bit mismatched, but fingers crossed we got some Evans stuff happening in the future now. So that's really cool. But yeah, this whole kit, actually, you'll hear in a minute, sounds wicked. Odery. The only thing I don't like about this kit, and it keeps happening, is all of the lugs, right? So I think the hardware on these kits is not great, especially the lugs. Like, they keep all blowing out. The snares had a blowout. We've had multiple on the kick drum. That keeps happening. Like the claws onto the bass drum hoop. The claws and the actual lugs themselves keep breaking. So that is the only downside, I think, of this type of kit. Like, obviously, it's sort of budget, mid-range, before Sakai. You're going to find cheaper hardware. The drums themselves, though, are great. It's just having to replace the hardware is a little bit annoying. I love these hi-hats. These are like Honor? I don't know how you say it. I don't know if they're like a German brand. Honer. I actually haven't looked into them that much, but Honor, I guess. They actually sound really good. Super like rusted on top, but they sound wicked. For what I'm assuming is like a brass cymbal. But yeah, there you go. Sounds awesome, right? Super kick, pinstripes, Evans snare head. It's all a jumble. Me and James both being drummers, and because we both do this at the studio, it's not just me. You'll find that a lot of this stuff, it's not as sort of heavy in terms of like maintenance, because James would have been in yesterday, or I was in like 3 days. Like, we're quite constant, like every morning, just checking. So there's never, if there is a major issue, I generally don't find it on like the morning that I'll run the video. It'll be earlier in the week, and then I'll do like a big sort of fixing video. That's the sort of the goal for these. I tried to do one the other day, but it was really annoying. I think I did the whole video in not super view. So this is obviously GoPro chest strap, and I recorded them in super view, so you can see everything. But I recorded it in like normal, and you could barely see anything. And I was sort of working. And sometimes this, like, you see the angles, isn't great, and I'm trying to capture as much as possible. But that one was unusable. But I did some cool stuff. I fixed a couple of stands, and like usual tech stuff using my sort of refretting kit. But yeah, just gonna have a look at this mixer. We've had a few problems with PA and mixer, so I like to test it occasionally now whenever I go into the live room, just to make sure everything's okay. It's sort of the centerpiece, right, of the whole band. Like, you're gonna have your singer come through there. You can have bass, guitars, whatever you want come through the mixer and PA. So you want it to sound good and always work how it should. There you go. I was actually worried. I thought in my head, I was like, oh no, it's copyright. Play some music. But as long as it works and it sounds good, then. We still had the Brighton Electric Lone PA this week as well. We've actually got ours back now, which is great. Like, feel a lot more comfortable with our own stuff, and people potentially breaking our stuff rather than stuff we have on loan that costs lots of money. But yeah, just like that, the live room's done. Now on to the final pod. Pod 2. We got a sign falling off the wall. I need to get some more blue tack because we're using this sort of double-sided tape and it's terrible. That'll fall off again. This one, I got told about this actually the night before. Someone messaged us saying they broke the ring light, which is fine. These things happen. I think where we've put them on the wall as well, a lot of the times when people leave them in the position where they wanted to record themselves, the door opens into them. So I think a lot of times it's just people opening up the door, someone's left the ring light extended and it just snaps off the top. Luckily, they're not too expensive, so we have a spare up here, so I'm just going to grab that and take it down and get it replaced. I have thought about changing the position of these ring lights, just where they're mounted, but I think it's the only way really, because the rooms are sort of like this weird triangle shape, just because that's how we could fit the most space when we were building the walls. It's hard to know where to put them. You could put them up against the wall left of the hi-hat there, but then you can't get any further behind, you know what I mean? It has to outstretch. It might actually be better over there, looking at it like this. It might be something to have a look at, just so if it keeps happening. It's happened twice now, I think, which in sort of 10 months isn't too bad. The new ring lights that we've been installing come with like this gooseneck attachment, which is actually not good. So I'm taking off this sort of sturdier, just plastic attachment where you put your phone, and not use the gooseneck one, because it falls as you're trying to record. Your phone will slowly fall down, which is a little bit annoying. So we just got that secured on there now, and that should be good to go. Just going to reposition it on the wall away from the door. So this is how I basically set them up every day, so they sit like this, like you've got it straight and then you bend it down, and then the door shouldn't hit it, but if you imagine it on the other side, the door will hit it and snap that top bit off. Hello, mate.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm just fixing the light in here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, someone broke it yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. These things are always breaking, though, to be fair.
Flimsy, aren't they?
They're not great. Yeah. How are you anyway? You right?
Yeah, I'm okay, yeah.
Good.
Teaching. Got busy couple of days to go.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
There you go. I just paused it. That was Lainey just come in, which is James, who my business partner, his girlfriend. Didn't want to record the whole conversation, but yeah, she teaches from the studio and helps out and is a big part of the studio. But yeah, now we've sort of done the drum maintenance and cleaning stuff. Now we're gonna take the Hoover and just give the whole studio fresh Hoover for the morning. I want to do these stairs as well because I've been looking at these stairs like for a long time, just thinking they really need to be done. It's one of those jobs you don't really want to do. It's not a very fun job. It's sort of the unglamorous side. Owning a studio. Our carpenter actually made this staircase. So imagine this was like an empty, basically garage, right? Like it was like an engineering workshop before we got into it and started making it a studio. And yeah, it didn't have I'll technically say we have 3 floors now. On the ground floor, the loft is just about walkable and then upstairs. But yeah, so he actually built this staircase, which I thought was wicked. Like, I didn't even think to have a staircase up to like the loft. I think we were just doing loft hatches to start with, but then for loading in and out gear, so we've got a lot of people storing their sort of gig sort of bags and things like this and like drum kits. So it's quite handy to have it, especially right at the front door. So you're sort of loading in. Annoying, you have to go upstairs. That's the only downside, I think, is carrying like drums and hardware upstairs is horrible, but yeah, it's good. It's nice, you know. It's nice that it's right by the front door, and they have access. Everyone who has storage up there has access 24/7. So if they get back late from a gig, they can come in and just access their space. You know? Everyone's got their own little designated bay, and it's working quite well. I think in the future we want to add some definite barriers between people's spaces, and maybe even like locks on the bays, so we have like proper bays and maybe even some smaller bays just for like a cymbal bag, right? So you could basically charge next to nothing for a drummer to store his cymbal bag here, so he doesn't have to bring it with him when he comes and uses the pods or comes to a rehearsal at our studio. It will just be upstairs in his own little locker, basically. We could probably get some deep lockers that hold cymbal cases. I think that's probably a good shout. I don't think I've shown the toilet yet, have I? On the channel. It's exciting, but our own little toilet. To be fair, since doing these videos, I've started to realise the tool I use the most is the Hoover, which is quite a depressing thought. This gets the most use out of it. Anything else at the studio is the Shark vacuum. I had to catch myself there because my girlfriend's dad is a carpet fitter and cleaner, and he would not approve of me saying Hoover, because Hoover is a brand, not the actual thing, right? So it's a vacuum cleaner. That was quite boring. Cool, nice one. So that's all done downstairs. I'm going to take the Hoover upstairs because I think what I was thinking was I was going to give some love to my kit upstairs now and to our room. It's easy to neglect your own space when you've got all these other spaces to look after. So I thought, you know what, we'll do a little bit of hoovering upstairs. I think this might be the first time you see my room up here, right? I'm not sure I've shown it on the channel yet, but this is mine and James's room. So this is where we teach and do all of our recording and yeah, just our space, you know, for storage and playing. Just going to take the recycling out as I realised it was really full. We have these new bins this week as well. Actually, that was a big studio day. We've got official Groove Garden bins now, so we don't have to take our rubbish anywhere. We can just get rid of it on site, which is nice. I've also got some tomatoes as well. That's quite exciting. First thing I've ever grown in life, really. Like in terms of fruit and vegetables. I've actually got little tomatoes coming through. You can see all along the right hand side here, that's all like blackberry bushes as well. So we've got loads of blackberries. We'll have tomatoes, not strawberries. Maybe next year, you know, strawberries. That'll be the next one to really hit home, Groove Garden Studios. Get some nice flowers and plants. I think I realised there that I couldn't get back through that door when it's closed. But yeah, what a nice day. Realised here I left my boot open. Not ideal. But this yard is really safe, to be fair. Across the way is Richard, who owns the mechanics. He's always looking out for us, so it's really nice. I feel quite safe. I don't really lock my bike up outside either. I just sort of leave it. And yeah, haven't had any problems, so... So this is the cymbal I was talking about earlier, the one that's got a crack that my student wanted. You can see it there just at the top. It's not massive, to be fair, but he said, could he still use it? And I said, you can use it, it'll be fine, especially if it's just for a practice cymbal in his house. But I said it would sound better with the crack taken out. So I always, when I get the opportunity to try and repair a cymbal, I do generally do it because it's one of those skills I want to get better at. And the only way to get better at it is by doing it, right? Like, same with everything. And being able to work on stuff like this, like a Paiste 101, which is not a great cymbal, and it's already had a crack cut out of it, is perfect, really, because you have the freedom to mess it up, and if it doesn't go to plan, it doesn't matter, because it was cracked anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it had a crack cut out of it. I was literally going to throw it away. So when you get the opportunity, it's quite nice. I think I'm going to speed up a lot of this because I didn't realise that when I looked back at the footage, it was like the worst camera angle ever. So I think it starts to go really quick in a minute, just when I sit down and I'm working on the cymbal on the table. So it won't be there for too long, and I'll just sort of speak through what's happening, what stages I'm going to do. But yeah, whenever you're working up sort of with like this sort of stuff, it is good to wear the protective gear. So you want to really wear a mask, which I'm grabbing now, and protective glasses, just because having a little piece of metal go in your eye that's not going to be fun. That's going to be the opposite of fun. So I usually clamp cymbals down, but I didn't on this one just because I knew. So I wasn't going to make this the most accurate, best job in the world. I just wanted to get the crack out and make it sound decent, right? So we've got the Dremel there on the right. You can see it, the blue Dremel thing, the multi-tool. And we're just going to first add the cutting bit to it. And we're going to go ahead and just cut the crack out after we've traced a line and made sure it's looking good. So I'm just going to find that crack. Now I'm going to grab the pencil. Pencils work. It's actually better if you've got like a permanent marker, but pencil does work. As you can see, this is the angle, right? So in a minute, it's going to start speeding up because you can see this for about 10 minutes. It does change slightly, but basically what I'm doing is I'm just tracing the outline. So I've got something rough, something like as a guide just to follow. It's not perfect because I freehanded it, but it does the job of giving me something to look at. And as long as it looks good from the naked eye, it's probably going to look good when you cut it out. Looks like I'm about to cut my fingers off here. I'm not. I think it's the angle again. It looks like I'm very close to my thumb, but I'm actually not. I'm quite far away. There we go. So the majority of the crack is now cut out. So we're going to swap the bit over in the Dremel to the sanding bit now. So it's just a little sort of roll of sandpaper that you can use to just it neatens it up. You can really straighten off the edges, and yeah, it starts to make it look like an acceptable job, not a bodge job. Where the crack was, I like to make sure I go extra with the sander there, just to make like a little semicircle thing to round off that, if that makes sense, because the Dremel is quite hard, I find, to do like a little semicircle edge with it and be really smooth with it. So I use the sander because it's round anyway. If you just press in, it gives you quite a nice semicircle and you can work from that. It makes it look really nice. So now I'm just going to take off the burrs with this little sanding block to make sure there's no really sharp edges, and just to have a look, see if it's straight and looks nice. So the next step I'm going to do, I've got this little sort of like polishing one as well, right? So I just use a little bit of this cymbal cleaner with the polishing bit, basically, and it just takes off if you've slipped a little bit and you've scratched the cymbal, or like you've just where the cut happened, you can make it look a little bit cleaner, which is always nice. Nice to go the extra step, you know, even if it isn't something we're being too precious about. So yeah, that's about it really. That's the whole process if you're trying to do it quick and yeah, just get it done. I mean, I don't know how long that took me. Obviously sped up is quite a lot quicker, but it doesn't take that long to get the crack out. And if you just want it purely to be able to play the cymbal and it sounds good and will last you a little bit longer, then I think it's definitely worth the investment in one of those Dremels. Because you can, the amount of money you save by not buying a new cymbal every time you get a little crack. Because I think they sound great still. Like if there's just a little crack and you're cutting it out. This one's obviously a little bit different because it's had two quite substantial cracks in it now. So you've taken out quite a lot of the cymbal. I think it's only a 14-inch as well. I'm not too sure actually. It might be a 16. It's either a 14 or a 16. So either way, I mean, I don't like 14 or 16-inch crashes. So it didn't have enough metal to start with, in my opinion, and now it definitely doesn't have enough metal. Can you see what it is? I don't know. But yeah, there you go. That's the finish. Sort of trying to show you what it looks like. Looks all right. Yeah. It's not
too bad, eh? It's alright. Well,
Just going to clean it off, just make sure
for students practice.
there's no sharp edges. If you just run your finger, like it should just feel smooth. Do you know what I mean? That comes down to the sanding and taking off those burrs. But yeah, I'm just going to play it now just so you can hear it. I should have played it at the start as well, to be fair. Should have played it when it was cracked, and then you could sort of hear the difference, because it sounds a lot nicer, you know? It's not as dead, the cymbals can ring a little bit more, it doesn't have this like fizzle, sort of sizzle sound. Funny enough, that Peisty Masters on my right here was a repaired cymbal as well, and I actually really liked it. It had a tiny little crack, like literally like 2 mil, which we've sort of sanded in. Didn't even have to cut that one. And I quite liked it because it was like a rivet, having a rivet in your cymbal. But that crack would have got bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where you'd have to do a big repair. So we took it out, and it sounds great. Like, it's awesome. It's one of my favourite cymbals, to be fair. It's actually James's, but I just love it. I don't know why. I just think it's such a cool cymbal. It's like the 20-inch Peisty Modern Essentials, I want to say. And it's wicked. I actually didn't really think much of Peisty in terms of, like, they just weren't really on my radar. I use Istanbul quite a lot, but we got that cymbal in, and I've been thinking about Peisty a bit more. Especially their Modern Essential stuff. I think that stuff sounds awesome. I haven't played the Master stuff, but I'm sure that's amazing as well, you know. So that's pretty much it for upstairs as well. Just on the hoovering and making sure everything's okay in our room. I spend a lot more time in my own room, obviously, so most of the time I know what to expect when you go up there. I know when it needs a hoover, and I know when it is a mess. The last little job that I usually do is just fill up the coffee with fresh water for the day, just because I don't know when it was last changed. So, and I usually make myself a coffee, so in the morning I'll fill it up with fresh water, and then that'll last the whole day. And I do that most days. We have you can see on our tap, we have this, like, I think it's pure filter. So it just like filters the water basically from your tap, because it had this funny, like, I don't know if it was a taste or smell, but you can see there, can you see like how it's gone black? I'm not sure if that's just like when they get wet, but like I've sort of primed that one and they don't go black straight away, so I'm not sure if that's just what it catches, which is pretty weird that it catches like that much. Like, what is it? Do you know what I mean? What is the black on the filter? I don't know. But I think because we're in the south of England anyway, we have really high minerals in our water, so it's like very chalky water. It's very hard. So that thing just makes the water taste better, and if there is anything weird going on in the water, it freshens it up and cleans it up. And it does actually taste a lot nicer when you run it through the filter. I just need to fix it though. I think it's come loose, and I've noticed recently that it's wobbling, which was annoying me, so I'm just going to grab some Allen keys and tighten it up to fix it while I'm replacing the filter. Another great angle from the chest cam. Look at that. That is awful. You literally can't see it. That's probably the worst one yet. I'll clock that in my head, and next time I'm working on this filter, I'll be thinking of this angle. But rest assured, I do fix it, and it does work better. You'll see in a minute. There we go, like magic. It's now tight, so we can put the new filter on. Just like that. It's easy. I think they charge, like Pure Filter charge like 40 quid for like 2 new like replacements, but you can literally get them on Amazon, like literally the same thing for, I don't know, they were like 20 quid or something, like literally half the price. So they tell you to like prime it. That's why I'm going to leave the tap on now. Just leave it. They say you're meant to leave it running for like 4 minutes or something. 3 minutes. I can't actually remember. So I'm just going to let that run for a little bit before I fill up the coffee machine. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it actually for this episode. Just going to make myself a coffee, and then I think I did some recording this morning. But yeah, thanks so much for watching again, guys, and hopefully catch you in the next one. Cheers.